that was actually the first time we kissed. It was also pretty soon, but I thought like, oh, also have to rush because I will be away for 5 weeks and I don't know what will happen. So, and it was raining a lot. I felt like in a movie, and we were kissing in the rain before, and that's so romantic. Yeah, it was.
That wasn't the plan, but Tlaloc, our god of water, intervened that day, and he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna give you this, you too." It was it.
Welcome to International Love Story, the podcast about intercultural relationships. My name is Christina, and in today's podcast episode, I am going to welcome Emmy and Tanja. I know at least Tanja since a couple of months already. I was just checking, I think since approximately 1.5 years, maybe even longer. And I know her journey. I know part of her love story. I know how she met Emmy. And I'm just curious to learn much, much, much more about Tanja's story, but also about their love story, to get to know Emmy as well, the reason why she's in Mexico, or one of the reasons why she's in Mexico right now. So with this being said, Tanja is from Germany, Emmy is from Mexico, and they're both living in Mexico right now. Let's give a warm welcome to Tanja and Emmy. Thank you so, so much for being here today. Go ahead, introduce yourself. Who are you? What are you doing? Tell us all about you.
Thank you so much for the introduction and for having us here today. My name is Tanja. I'm from Germany. I turned 30 years this year. Pretty exciting. And 1.5 years ago, I decided to leave everything behind and go to Mexico, because actually I figured that Mexico is the love of my life. In 2022, I went to a sea turtle project at the Pacific coast of Oaxaca. And there I fell in love with the country. I was always interested in the culture of Mexico, in learning Spanish and in exploring this magical country. And when I really had the chance to do it a longer time, I realized, that's where my heart, my soul lives. And I don't want to go back to Germany. I feel like here's my place. So in March last year, I left everything behind, my ex-boyfriend, my job, my flat, my family, and moved alone to Mexico City, actually, without knowing what the future will bring. And now I'm here in Mexico City.
Well, I'm Emiliano Coria. I'm 31 years old, and well, I'm a Mexican. That's basically it. I'm a Chilango. I am from Mexico City, CDMX, we call it. And I've been living here for my whole life. Currently, I'm teaching Spanish to foreigners. So I have a little school, little advertising, by the way, in alebrijesSpanishLessons.com. And I'm Tanja here. Can we say where we met?
Yeah, of course.
We met at,
not a crime.
in Bumble. So, but the funny thing is that, at the beginning, I thought she was a dude, a man.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, because it's not common that you are like chatting with someone, at least here in Mexico, and that's my experience, of course, with someone, and that person then after 5-6 messages tells you, all right, let's head out, let's hang out, and let's go to eat, and I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, I'm very efficient German, so I thought, why lose time? I want to meet him because it was very funny. Actually, I wanted to delete the application because I was very disappointed of my experiences with the application, so I wanted to delete it. And then I saw his profile, and he wrote me that he loves pozole. I have soup.
Pozole.
Yeah, a Mexican soup. It's very delicious, and I also love the soup. So was our first topic. We connected, and I directly asked him, "Don't you want to try a very good for Sole, I know a place. Yeah, and he was afraid that I might kidnap him.
Yeah.
Because he
friends.
thought that you are a man.
Yeah, he
Because
thought
you didn't
that's
have a
fake
profile picture. Ah, so he had a profile picture, but he thought the way you are texting that has to be a man that wants to kidnap him.
Yeah, I was like, I've seen this probably in a movie. I don't know if that happens here, but I was suspicious. But in the end, it all turned well.
Yeah, that's why he also came late to our date, and I thought it's typical Mexico. He told me afterwards that actually he was looking out what's happening at the place where we wanted to meet.
To make sure that you're real and that you're not a fake.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Okay,
and I was looking. Yeah, it was great. It turned out well.
When it was this year you met, right? Or was it last year?
Last year in July, 1 year ago.
Is it so long ago already?
Yeah, we already know each other for more than 1 year.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So you had this first date, this first official date. You, Tanja, you had to wait a little bit longer for Emmy. Eventually he showed up. I wouldn't be in a good mood, honestly, because I hate when people are wasting my time because I'm too German. Still, even nowadays, even we're living here in Argentina since 1.5 years and I'm married to Argentinian, I just can't stand if people are too late. And I have to adjust to it, I know, but what were your thoughts while you were waiting for Emmy?
Actually, it was just 5 or 10 minutes. It was not that bad, but yeah, I was very nervous, but I also was looking forward to meet him because actually he, on his profile, he said he loves to write, and I also love writing. So I never met a guy before that loves writing. So I was very curious about getting to know him.
And how was the encounter? So he walked in and you guys connected immediately. Was it awkward? How did you feel?
I didn't feel awkward at any time. I felt like a pretty strong connection from the first day. We talked a lot. Afterwards, we went for a beer. And the funny thing of this encounter also was that 1 week later, I went back to Germany. So we met 1 week before me heading back to Germany because I'm in Mexico with the tourist visa. So you can stay 6 months and then you have to go back. And I planned to go back to Germany for 5 weeks to go back afterwards to Mexico. And so we met and directly I told him like, in 1 week, I will be in Germany for 5 weeks. So in this whole week, we met 3 times. Yeah, and it was an intense week, but all the time I felt pretty connected. How did you feel this?
Yeah, I felt the same way. I was like, okay, I like this girl. And I was like, okay, you told me right from the beginning that you were leaving like 1 week. It was 1 and 3 days later, right? And I was like, okay, I have to rush with something because if not, I'm gonna lose this girl. Yeah, we went the second time. It was the one with the chocolate.
Oh, that was the third time.
That was the third
The
time,
second
right?
time we went to play games.
Oh yeah, board games.
Other passion that connects us, playing board games. And then the third time we went for a hot chocolate. And that was actually the first time we kissed. That was also pretty soon, but I thought like I also have to rush because I will be away for 5 weeks and I don't know what will happen. And it was raining a lot. I felt like in a movie, and we were kissing in the rain before I had to go naturally. Yeah, it was.
That wasn't the plan, but Tlaloc, our god of water, intervened that day, and he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna give you this, you too." It was good.
Yeah, and then I was the official start. Sorry for interrupting, but that was the official start of you dating, or what happened?
I don't know. How will you define it?
Yeah, that's difficult to say a date where it started. I don't feel like there was one day where it started. And what I really loved about us getting to know each other, also from distance, was that you were texting every day, and we were talking about our days, and also due to the time difference, that was weird as well. You felt like for you it was a challenge with the time difference, right?
Yeah, because it's 8 hours from here, Mexico to Germany. The time where you used to wake up was like around 7, probably. But here in Mexico, it was like probably 3. No,
No, in the night.
that was in the
11
night.
in the night.
Well, basically, I had like 1 or 2 hours from 10 to 12, and that was the whole thing because I had to sleep. But then that's like 7 hours, so it's 7 hours not knowing anything about her. And I was like, okay, so the moment I wake up, I had to text her and say, hey, Emma, wake up. How are you doing? Or what are you doing? Or what's happening? And then after that, I had to work. I was also teaching back then. And but then I couldn't text her that fast enough. So I had to like manage my time between texting her and giving class at the same time. I don't recommend that. I don't suggest that. But it was like, okay, I'm texting her and that's it. And then after that, I had to probably at 2 p.m. in Mexico, was like 10 p.m. also in Germany. So she had to go to sleep. And in the end, I had only like 3 hours, probably 6, but between 3 and 3 hours, I had to chat with her twice a day.
Had to.
Yeah, I had to, yeah. Yeah. Because I didn't want to miss the opportunity and this chance that they gave me. And that was quite a challenge for a month. I was actually more relieved when she came back because I was like, probably, and now I'm gonna finally gonna sleep. I don't have to schedule my whole day and the next and
I already know what happens. She went to Germany. Tanja went to Germany for 5 weeks. The first time, but you had to go a second time to renew your visa again, and that ended up a little bit longer than what you've anticipated. So before we get to this, because I completely understand the whole situation of being in a long distance relationship, even if it's just for a few weeks and you just can't wait to see your person again in person, especially in the beginning. I mean, it's still the case. Like last year, for example, I've been to Colombia all by myself for 3 weeks and I've been missing Nacho like crazy. After 1 week, I was just like, okay, I'm ready to go back to Argentina to be with him again. Because obviously after so many years, you get very used to each other as well. But especially in the beginning, yeah, like in this honeymoon phase, and you want to spend every single minute with one another. You want to get to know each other better. And it's possible to do this on distance, but if there's a time difference involved and if, yeah, you're basically just checking your phone all the time, just hoping for an answer, for good morning texts or sleep well takes. It's just like it's another dynamic, and it's definitely much more work than to keep the relationship alive and interesting. I mean, in that case, you knew it's just for 5 weeks. Eventually, you're going to see each other again, and this is what happened. So you, Tanja, you were able to get your visa. You were able to fly back to Mexico. So I'm wondering what happened afterward.
I came back in September, and September in Mexico it's pretty big because it's the Independence Day. And so I got to know his family, and that's where I fell in love even more because they received me with so much love. We did karaoke, we were eating, and I enjoyed this time so much. And also Dia de los Muertos in November. So that was a pretty nice time where we got to know each other. And in November, I did a pretty German move. I asked him if he wants to be my boyfriend because, yeah, we were like dating for 4 months, and I thought, yeah, maybe I could ask him now. Yeah, how did it feel? It was funny.
Well, she asked me first.
He wanted to ask me 2 weeks later. I just couldn't wait anymore to know what's going on.
Yeah, well, that's her. Yeah. And usually slower in everything. I like to be that way, actually. And my plan was like, okay, I'm probably gonna ask her to be my girlfriend on December. But yep, not that you rushed, but you took the lead. You took the lead. I was cool with it. And I was like, maybe she'll feel, I don't know, like I'm not wasting time, but maybe she could, I don't know, wonder about this. I was like, but I'll stick to my plan. And nope, that didn't happen. It's okay. I was also thinking about that just in November. Yeah.
And now our first big challenge is coming because 2 weeks afterwards, I got kicked out of my flat from one day to another. One of the big challenges here, my landlord just was crazy and he didn't want me in his apartment anymore. So he told me, you have 1 hour to leave. And Emiliano and my best friend Vanya, they came to help me because I really was afraid of going back to the apartment because he was threatening me and he was threatening my privacy. So I didn't want to go alone, and then they helped me to move in 1 hour. I've never had done this before. It was crazy. That was a roller coaster of emotions, and I didn't know where to go because how can you find a new flat in one day? That's not possible. So I'm so thankful that Amy and his family, they received me. I felt so overwhelmed because we were together for 2 or 3 weeks and I was right moving in with him.
It is. And you recently met his family. I mean, they were very welcoming, but you were also still in the phase of really getting to know his family. And then right away they were like, okay, you're not going to be homeless. Obviously, you can sleep at our place. So you moved in together quite fast.
Yeah, for 1 month. Yeah, we had to. But it went pretty well. We didn't have any conflicts. But afterwards I found a flat where I'm still at now. And I'm happy here. But yeah, that was one of our challenges right away at the beginning of our relationship.
In your case, you definitely stepped in and no questions asked, supporting her in that weird situation. I remember, Tanja, you were telling us as well in the WhatsApp group we have. So for everyone who's listening and watching right now, you're more than welcome to join if you're a woman dating interculturally. And we were all shocked. We were like, what's going on? Because at that time you had so much to figure out. There were so many things on your plate. And then on top of this, your landlord just decided to kick you out from one day to the other in just 1 hour, to threaten you. It was a very, in general, threatening situation. And to have someone who's showing up and who's just like, we'll help you, we'll pack your things, don't worry, we'll figure it out. You just crash at my family's place and we're gonna make that work. That's basically, to have this support network in a country that's not your home country. I mean, that's just so important. I'm so happy that you didn't go through all of this all by yourself, because I mean, I'm already overwhelmed if I'm German, sorry for this, but if I'm crossing the street and there's a crosswalk, so it's a stripe in German, and the cars wouldn't stop, or would, like, it happened to me a couple of times that I almost got knocked over by a bus because they're just driving recklessly here. And I'm getting that in situations like this. Yeah, but it's just so German, and then you're just in another country and you still get used to so many new things. Obviously, I mean, you've mentioned it right in the beginning. You love Mexico. It feels like it's your home, but you still adjust to so many circumstances. And then you have such a crazy person that's affecting your life in such a big way by just deciding to kick you out just like that. And you have to figure it out. And just imagine, I mean, being alone in a situation like that, that's just horrible. So I'm very happy for you that you had your support network at that time already. Again, Emmy, that you showed up for her and accommodated her. Because that's a lot to take in, and that's also proof that you guys are very serious and that you do take care of one another.
Yeah, and that's also a reason why I do love Mexico, but I feel like the people here are helping in every situation. And without my friend's support and without any support, I think I would have left. Because as you know, Christina, I also had other challenges before and afterwards of this. So that wasn't the first challenge I had to face here in Mexico. Yeah, what I realized is that moving abroad is not just packing your suitcase and boarding a plane. It's so much more. If you would know in the beginning, you would never leave your country probably. So without the support, I think I wouldn't have made it at the end.
You were staying at his family home, Tanja. How was the 1 month with his family living together with him?
I was very nervous because earlier in March when I came to Mexico, I had like a similar situation where I lived with a guy and his family, and it went pretty bad. That was one of my first challenges. They treated me very bad and also kicked me out. So that was my second time of this experience. I was so afraid at the first place to make mistakes, like also cultural differences, that especially his mom wouldn't like me at all, or that it would crush our relationship or anything. But I felt so at home and so welcomed that I really enjoyed this month. I really enjoyed it. And we also spent Christmas together. It was really hard for me because it was my first Christmas apart from my family in a whole different country that has totally different tradition. And I was crying. I don't know what I remember. I was crying a lot, but I also was enjoying it and I felt very welcome. And I feel like this experience, got us together even more. How do you felt it?
I will tried to support her in the best way I could possibly have. I like to cook a lot, so I try to cook for her a lot. Well, that's something that I usually do. But in December, I realized that she was like having different. She was kind of different. She was having a different experience from me because, well, from Germany, first Christmas without your family. I never had a Christmas without my family. I have always been here, and also something funny happened because I don't know if they make the same thing in Argentina, but in Mexico we have an unofficial you say holiday, which is the Guadalupe Reyes. The Guadalupe Reyes is a period of 3 and maybe 3 days, 3 weeks and maybe 3 days, and it starts from December 12th, and which we call Dia de la Virgen, is the day of is that the Maria's Day? Holy Maria's Day?
Day of the Virgin, yeah.
And it ends with January 6th, which is our Dia de Reyes, and basically Santa Claus for Mexicans. Hopefully no kids listening to this.
I doubt that.
Exist.
They exist. They but well, in that period, we have lots of parties. You cannot imagine. Everyone has a party here, and they invite you to lots of parties. And with parties, well, comes a lot of food, and of course, it comes comes with alcohol. Lots of alcohol, tons of alcohol. And at one point, she was like, "Hey, you are not a drunkard, are you?" I was like, "Hey, because you're working so much." And I was like, "No, it's the holidays, just the holidays. Not like this. I mean, I do drink, but not like, okay, I need it. Not it's just like, well, I enjoy it." But no, at that time, I realized like, yeah, she was like having troubles.
It was our first conflict.
And that was our first conflict.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had kind of like a fight. Or like you had a fight with me.
You're not the kind of fighter.
I'm not the kind of fighter, and also I was very drunk, so that wasn't a fair fight at the beginning. So yeah, we had a very first fight. Yeah, we solved it in the end, and yeah, that was it. That was it. But for her, it was kind of crazy, and then I realized about that, and I was like, okay, maybe I should explain things to her, because she told me that she was here from a long time, and she was had been visiting Mexico for years. And I thought, okay, so she knows about this, but apparently
Never
she
in
didn't.
Christmas. Yeah.
Not in Christmas. Yeah. And it's not actually something so famous out there. Our most famous traditions are the Day of the Dead, Dia de Muertos. Yeah, kind of Christmas and September. I'm Mexican. Probably they'll tell you that. But yeah, no, that was quite different. But yeah, in the end, it turned out well.
So you managed your first conflict and
Yeah, pretty well.
talked it out. So Tanja was more confrontal, and Emmy just told her or told you, Tanja, basically like, hey, that's just normal, just a few days, and then I go back to just casual or occasional drinking here and there.
Yeah.
But I understand that it can be a little bit overwhelming as well. So after all, you have to get used to it, obviously. But if you're not used to it because you've never experienced it, it's definitely something else, a different experience you weren't prepared for. I know, like, recently, Tanja, you had to leave Mexico again. I mean, it's not so recently anymore. It has been a couple of weeks already. And I would love to talk about that as well, because as I teased already in the beginning, you didn't plan to leave Mexico again, and you were hoping to make this your home, especially because you felt like, I'm settling in, this feels like home, I don't want to leave again. And then you had to leave back to Germany in order to figure out your visa situation again. So again, I would love to talk about this a little bit, and I'm curious to understand in what situation you were. So first of all, which month, and what was your situation that you had to leave Mexico again?
Yeah, so in December, I also was looking for a job, because without a job, it's pretty hard to stay. You can also buy the visa, but I'm very German, so I wouldn't do any criminal stuff. I'm too honest for that. So yeah, I had to find a job for the working visa to stay longer than just as a tourist. And I also don't want to be a tourist all the time. I really want to live a life. So I was looking for jobs, and I had some interviews, and one was very good. And they offered me a job as a German teacher. Actually, at the moment, I'm doing a course to become a German teacher. And so I thought that's a pretty good opportunity, and they will help me with the visa process. So in February, I went back to Germany, and the plan was to just stay 4 weeks to figure out the visa. And it turned out that I would not return to Mexico until May. So the 4 weeks became 3 months. It was pretty hard because I had planned it, and I missed Mexico so much. I missed Emiliano so much, and everything turned out as a nightmare. And at the end, they didn't want to give me the contract, and so I had no chance to get the working visa. And I didn't know what to do, so I decided to go back as a tourist and to not stop looking for a job, because I would not give up after all these hurdles and time I invested here. And so, I went back to Germany in May, again as a tourist. And it was the first hurdle. When I arrived, they first didn't want to let me in, because they told me I've been here too much time. And I actually had all my documents ready. I also had his ID as a copy, that they see we are a couple, that he really exists, that there is a reason why I'm going to Mexico.
That you had to prove this in order to stay as long as possible, because I know cases where this could have been against your case, them deciding not to let you in at all. If you say, like, I know someone, it's actually my boyfriend, because they're like, okay, so you will just stay illegally and extend your visa. So you're not going to get in at all. So that's proof for you to stay longer, or that's the reason why you're going to stay longer this time?
Yeah, actually, you need to give a reason, and then also address where you're staying. And so if you have like family member or boyfriend or something, then it's easier to get an advanced stay. But this time they were really strict, and first of all, I didn't believe that Amy really exists, and they were like, why isn't he going to Germany? Why do you always have to come to Mexico? Things like that. And after pretty intense interview, they let me in. So I was really pretty relieved and to see Emiliano again after 3 months, because it felt like 3 years for me. And afterwards, I did go on with searching for looking for a job. And actually I found a job and also as a German teacher, but still having troubles with the visa. During to the process I had before, a lot of bureaucracy, and we are solving this right now that I can go back to Germany as soon as possible to really get my working visa this time. Fingers crossed, so that I can start a life in Mexico.
I remember the last time you went to Germany, correct me if I remember wrongly, that you had an appointment at the embassy, right? And they declined the visa. Are you able to talk about it, or is that something you'd rather not talk about because, details?
In a nutshell, it's that the school that wanted to give me a contract at the end didn't send me the contract, and they ignored me and they ghosted me. So I didn't have any proof that I'm really working there. I had the authorization for the visa from the government. So Mexico said, yeah, you can get the visa, but you also need the contract for the working visa. So without the contract, they declined my visa.
Okay, because I remember that you showed up anyway, correct? And then they denied it.
Yeah, because I already had my appointment, and I thought, yeah, let's try it, because I had all documents. And the internet, sometimes they say different things that in reality. So it wasn't quite clear if I really need to show all these documents or not. But in the end, they were suspicious and declined it.
So when you re-entered Mexico the last time, so you entered with a tourist visa again, and when is your tourist visa going to expire? So how much longer?
November.
Okay, so at least you were able to extend it a little bit longer than usual. They were awkward at the border, but after all, they understood your situation and took you serious and were able to give you a visa that's a little bit more than 3 months. Okay.
Yeah, 6 months.
So you're in Mexico, you are training to become a teacher, and with this, you will try to get the work visa, I guess, right, for Mexico? Or what type of visa would it be for you?
Yeah, the working visa. And actually, I'm in the middle of the process of it, because I got accepted at a school in Guadalajara. That's like 7 hours from here. At least I got a job, because now I'm looking since 1 year and a half, and I feel very frustrated. So I'm very happy that I got this opportunity, even if it's not in Mexico City as I wished. But I'm getting closer to my goal of living in Mexico.
Yeah, it's just, like after everything, all the bricks that were thrown into your direction, everything you had to overcome, it would have been in many cases or many situations easier to just say, okay, I will just leave Mexico. I will go back to Germany because apparently Mexico doesn't want me. At least I've tried, but you kept on trying. So you've kept on trying. You did so much. You've been through so much. So I'm wondering, what is it that you are so connected to Mexico? And obviously with Emmy, especially, you're much more tied to Mexico, but you were tied to Mexico before Emmy already. So what's the reason? How does it feel?
Yeah, actually, a lot of people ask me that, and they tell me, why don't you go back? It's just I would be so frustrated, but I cannot explain it, actually. I feel like I have a very deep connection with the culture and the country. I don't know where it comes from. I don't have family members here that I know of. But since I was a kid, I was very interested in the culture of Mexico and the history and the pre-Hispanic history, especially. And I feel like all the colors, the festivities, the people, everything is so vibrant, and I feel so alive here. I feel like in Germany, I feel secure. I feel like, I have my securities, my insurance. I have a good job that's paid a lot more than here. But in Mexico, I feel like my heart is always has been here, and I feel alive, and that's how I want to live my life, exactly how Mexico feels like. And that's
So
why I don't want
Mexico-
to give up.
Mexico is your happy place in a nutshell. This
It
is
is.
where you feel yourself, and this is where you feel you're meant to be here. It's interesting that even though I'm making the same experience with Argentina. Obviously, my husband is from here, but before meeting him, I had no idea. Like, okay, I would have been able to pinpoint where Argentina is, obviously, on a map, but I wouldn't have had no idea what Argentina is about. And you come, or I came here. Now I moved here last year, February, but I was able to visit so many times before. And then you just learn more about the culture, you learn more about the people, and you just realize that there's just a different life somewhere else, you know? And that's also something I'm talking about quite often, the feeling of, and we've been talking about it as well, Tanja, the feeling of feeling guilty because it's so awkward in a way that you're sitting the other end of the world, so far away from home, and you're just your happiest. And you're just, this is the person I want to be. And I feel so full. And I just feel like I am meant to be here right now. And I don't want to leave. And then at the same time, the guilt kicks in because you have your family in Germany. I mean, we both have our families in Germany. And in my case, for example, it's not like I've made any bad experiences in Germany, but I just feel much more tied to Argentina, even though I just moved here than I ever did to Germany. And it's just this feeling that's very difficult to describe. And I'm sure you don't have any words for that either, that you get homesick if you're not there. So same way as I felt when traveling through Colombia, or the time I've spent in Europe in April, May, I was honestly so happy to get back into this airplane again and to fly back to Argentina. And it was just like, okay, I shouldn't be happy about this. I'm leaving behind my family again, my nieces, which I love, and they're still quite young. So I should not feel that way, but I am happy that I'm leaving Germany again and that I'm flying back home. And if you've not made this experience, it's just, for someone else, it's impossible, I'd say, to understand how you feel about it. So I completely understand that everyone around you listening to how much you've been struggling, everything that happened to you over the past few months in Mexico, and you still say, I will return to Mexico because I feel like my heart's full here, that they think you're crazy. So the local German just comes to Mexico and just doesn't want to leave. Besides everything going on, what's wrong with her? She's crazy. So from an outside perspective, it might seem like you're crazy, but again, anyone who hasn't made this experience yet definitely doesn't know how it feels like. And it's also very, 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 very difficult to even describe how it feels like. So to this part, because it's just like, I just find it so interesting. But let's get back to your story, because you guys for a while were dating long distance again for much, much longer than anticipated. And I'm wondering, what were your thoughts during that time? Because you were hoping, obviously, that Tanja will come back as soon as possible. And then she came back after 3 months in Germany. And also she came back with another tourist visa, not as planned, actually.
Yeah, well, was it 3 months?
Yeah.
Wasn't
3 months, February, April, and May.
Jeez, that was a lot. Well, I actually felt very confident about it because she told me to, and I was like, well, yeah, she will. Well, at the beginning, it was like, okay, I'll see her in a month. That turned out 2 months and then 3 months. But I was like very good because I felt that now things were changed a little bit at least. It was like, okay, I still had to do the same thing and I did it again. And I probably will do in the future if that happens again to talk with her every day. We actually talk every day. And even though she's here, I always text her and I really like to talk with her. And I'm also like very chatting. So I like to chat with everyone. Sometimes I cannot. But for me, people think because some friends have told me that, hey, weren't you insecure or something? Like, weren't you afraid that she will, I don't know, do something else? That she will, probably she's not a lot of, she's not so in love with Mexico or you. And I was like, no, not really. I was like, well, she told me that she is, and we're still chatting, so that's okay. Well, maybe that's my perspective on life. Like, I'll worry about those things when they come. I mean, when it happens, she suddenly doesn't want to be with me, or I don't know, something bad happens in Germany, and maybe she cannot go out from the country or something, or maybe I don't know, someone invade us. So I don't know.
That's not funny.
You know, but I will worry then. Meanwhile, I don't have to. So I'm pretty boring at that part. I actually felt pretty confident, and I was like, yeah, I just have to chat with her, text her every time that I can. It will be kind of the same way. It wasn't the same way because when I started my school along with other associates, that was on April. So April, May, yeah, in April, May, like I had more time because I dropped my job and in another school, horrible school. And yeah, I had more time. So I was like, okay, I had to focus on me. As she told you, I like writing. So I started writing again. Sometimes I can, sometimes I cannot. And that's my dream job actually, to become a writer, screenwriter actually, screenwriter. So I made some stories. I want to write a novel, but that will be the future. And I was very focused on me, and I had to look for the new, how do you call it? Emprendimiento. My new
Startup?
startup. Yeah. um, Along with my associate again, I have my hands full of things. So I was like, one of those things is Tanya, and that was it. And until she comes back, I will be doing something. And when she comes back, she will find me, and she will find that we did something else, and I did something else, and yeah, it's been growing up since then. But yeah, I believe that that's my point of view. You just have to worry about those things. You foresee them in the very near future. But if you don't, well, then you don't have to. You don't have to worry about those things.
I also feel that we have a strong trust in each other. So I never felt like he will leave me now, or I wasn't anxious about that.
No, we were.
Yeah, and you also, as you tell me all the time, you know that I love Mexico so much that I would always come back.
That's something that I, like you just said, you too. But I told her like, I know that Mexico. I don't know if it happens with other countries, but I know that sometimes Mexico can be pretty raw. It literally throws all of it to you suddenly. In many ways. She didn't get the visa. She was kicked out. I don't know. Many things happened to her. But that also funny things that also happens to us as Mexicans. Mexico don't want us sometimes, and Mexico City is another thing. It's a beast. So sometimes you have like a plan, like, hey, I'm gonna go to the park today for 1 hour, and suddenly starts raining, but a lot, insane. Like we reached a record like two weeks ago, and it was like the most raining day in 70 years, and it was like Jesus. And the city is not prepared, but it's like, all right, after that, you still want to be here? Yes, and that's the thing. She wants to be here. And I told her, well, if you want to be here, then you don't have another reason. You don't need another reason. You want to be here. Why? Well, you only know about that. I cannot feel the same way because that's my country. I've been living here my whole life. But she wants to make her life here, and I respect that. I encourage that, actually. And that's the thing. Yeah. That's the only reason she needs for me.
So that eventually she will always bounce back to Mexico, because she's kind of tied to Mexico in a way. That is, she's dragging her back. Like,
yeah, now I have a reason more.
Yeah. So I'm wondering also to slowly come to an end of this episode. I understand that the next step is to apply for the visa again, this time with all the documents you need, and hopefully you will get the work permit. I understand that this is also part of the process you're going through now, Tanja, and hopefully you'll be able to stay longer without being worried about a visa again. And I'm wondering, what else is there? As far as I understand, you're both quite easygoing. You take life as it is, things as they come. But do you have a plan for your future as a couple, but also as individuals? And how does the future look like?
What does your future look like?
Well, I don't know at the moment. Well, my future, I want to build a life here in Mexico. Eventually, I want also a family, kids. Yeah, 2 kids.
Yours.
2 girls.
Let's propose that.
Yeah, we still are talking about the names.
She doesn't want her first.
No. Yeah,
she's a name, but she doesn't want to say.
No, but we plan one name in German and one in Mexican. Well, we still are fighting over the German name that I don't like.
Keep track.
Yeah, our future plans are together and to build up a life together here in Mexico.
Well, but in the near future, she moves to this new city because it's a city, Guadalajara. Well, my friends had some friends, not all my friends, but some friends had that same experience. I had my friend Brian. You're seeing this. You're my model, an example model. His girlfriend moved to Mazatlan, beautiful beach, by the way, amazing. And he used to travel a lot because he's from Oaxaca. But then, because he was super in love with her, he used to go there to Mazatlan. He stayed a season there, and then he returned to Mexico City, where he has his friends, us, and then he had to travel to Oaxaca to visit his family, and yeah, it was a triangle for him. And then I only had to do that once because I had my friends here and my family here, and I like to visit her in Guadalajara. And also, I believe it's the other way you told us that you could visit us also. The thing is about that is that it depends on the jobs a lot. So because I usually work face to face with foreign students, well, I do have to stay the whole week, but I usually leave the whole weekend free because something comes up usually. I was very excited actually some months ago, and that's the plan, at least for me, to be traveling a lot, and in holidays probably be together a lot. So yeah, that's the plan. That's the year plan.
And in December we will go to Germany
together. Nice.
Yeah, that will be the very first time that I come out of the country.
For Christmas, I guess. Christmas is so different in Germany.
Yeah, you won't know how it feels.
I will be shocked.
Yeah, that's gonna be you're gonna love the Christmas markets. You're gonna love that molded wine. Oh, I miss that so much. Yeah. Christmas markets are amazing.
I'm looking forward to it.
But it's different and it's cold.
He loves the cold, so that's why he wants to go.
Yeah. Then you'll be fine if you love the cold. Also depends obviously on where you are. But yeah, so cool to know that you're going to be in Germany together very, very soon actually. Because the year's almost over. I think this episode is going to go online in October, and then from there it's only 2 more months, sorry, until you guys are in Germany. It's so crazy. I have one last question for you guys, each one of you. Please share one advice. It can be any advice, can be relationship advice, can be life advice, anything that pops through your head the moment I finish the sentence. Starting with Tanja.
My relationship advice is communication. It sounds so easy, but it isn't. So always communicate your necessities, or how you feel like without making the other person feel bad, just from your perspective. And always talk. I feel like that helped us a lot in resolving our conflicts, especially when you're in an intercultural relationship. The good thing is that I speak pretty good Spanish, so we can talk in Spanish and solve our problems. Sometimes it's hard because I would love to speak German sometimes, but I feel like I'm communicating pretty well with you in Spanish.
I need to learn,
He's learning German at the moment. But yeah, communication, and don't give up. If you really want it, you feel it, and it feels just right. You don't have to question it.
For you.
Well, I don't know, but probably also talking about the topic, which is like international couples. Yeah, also try to understand the other in general, but try to understand your couple, your fiance, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever you call it. But also for the things when you feel like we had a fight, we had a big fight. Well, people have fights a lot, but not a lot, but pretty often in the world there are many fights out there. So that's a thing that I'll say that hey, don't take it too seriously. I mean, depends on the topic, of course, and what happened, but try to love each other, and also remind a lot that even if you are mad, you still love her or love him, and remember yourself that even they are mad at you, they still love you. So try to figure it out. And be honest, because you're not honest, all things start to get different. You have lots of things and many intrusive thoughts starts shaking your head and something. Well, don't do that. Just be honest, and that's it. I believe that's the way I deal with rough situations. And yeah, communicate. That's a thing. Love a lot and show your culture. You should show to her a lots of things from Mexico. Things that are not the common ones, like, hey, yeah, we love tacos and tequila.
It's much more.
Yeah, it's much more.
That's what I always have to explain, especially to the Germans, that Mexico is more than just tacos, sombreros, and mafia.
Tequila. You forgot the tequila.
Yeah.
But the other way it's around, it's the same. It's much more than bretzels, beers, dirndls.
Yeah.
And what I love is actually that because I'm married to an Argentinian, and because we traveled through Germany for 6 weeks, because my husband wanted to explore Germany, I got to know my own country through his eyes and in a completely different way. And I've realized, oh, wow, Germany has a lot to offer. I wasn't aware of that beforehand. So it's crazy that you grow up at a place and you think you know it all, and then you realize you actually don't. And because honestly, Nacho's obsessed with Germany. So it's just so fun to see his point of view as well on specific things that are just so normal for me. You know, to understand it's actually not normal for everyone. And then he asks me, why are you Germans like this? And I'm like, what do you mean? It's just the way we are. And he's like, but I find it weird.
Yeah, that's also a point I find quite interesting, that living abroad, I love Germany even more. actually. I have a totally different perspective to my country, and I reconnected with Germany, and that's, a very nice feeling.
It is. Yeah, and you can live at one place and feel at home while missing your home country at the same time and feel at home there as well. It's just, again, a weird feeling that's difficult to describe. But thank you so much, Emmy. Thank you so much, Tanja, for spending your afternoon/evening with me, for sharing your love story. As always, I will link your contact details in the description as well as in the side notes of the podcast episode and the YouTube video. For everyone who's listening and or watching right now, feel free to get in contact with Tanja. I'm so happy that we crossed paths approximately 1.5 years ago, that I was able to be part of your journey from the beginning, more or less, since you're living in Mexico, and that you are sharing your love story or your generally like your moving abroad story so openly, that you share your emotions so openly. And also, Emmy, it was lovely to meet you. So you're not the boyfriend anymore, you have a name. And his name is Emmy.
Glad I got a name.
And I'm very happy that you make sure that Tanja feels welcomed, and that she even fell more in love with Mexico because of you, Emmy. So with this being said, for everyone who's listening and or watching right now, if you guys would like to share your love story as well, you'll find a link to a document below, and maybe one day we're going to sit together and you will share your story with me and with everyone else. Also, as mentioned, I do have a WhatsApp group for women who are dating interculturally. Tanja, for example, is part of it, as well as over 85 other amazing women. So if this is something you would like to join, feel free to join as well. You will find the link below as always. And with this being said, have a lovely morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're listening and watching from. And thanks again, guys, for your time and for sharing your story today. Bye-bye.
Adios.
Bye-bye.